there's your intro right there.
That's a good intro.
Into this.
What are we talking about this week, Leo? Because you keep doing that to me every week.
Yeah,
you're like, well, tell
I've
me
got
what we're
talking I've got a good intro for this. So, interestingly, we didn't expect to be talking about this week. We expect to be talking about this in about probably April or May. Yeah. When a new Cloverfield film is out there.
Yeah.
And we've watched it.
Yeah.
So, after all the news of Cloverfield recently, such as the fourth one has already finished filming and is set in World War II and includes Nazis and supernatural stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The news that Netflix might be buying the Cloverfield universe. In fact, actually showed a little trailer at the Super Bowl and dropped, as soon as the game ended, they dropped the whole film on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's called the Cloverfield Paradox. I wouldn't say particle, I wouldn't say complex, I wouldn't say any other word than paradox.
Yeah.
And we watched it last night.
We did watch it last night.
Interesting, before we watched it, we saw how terrible it was doing with reviews and how trashed it was getting.
Is it still on 14%?
No idea.
Rotten Tomatoes?
It's not in a good position. It's disappointing. And we won't go into story, but it's strange. Oh God, no! Someone's fallen over.
What was that?
I think it was a bin outside.
Or a monster.
First thing from the trailers, it looks like a mix of Interstellar Life and Prometheus.
Yeah. It's not even just those three. It just looks like
a space thriller, and
it looks like every space film ever.
But the reason why, and going just off the trailer here, we won't go straight into spoilers. It feels like all of those. It feels like Interstellar, because you find out at the start of the film that they have to leave Earth to try and find a new energy source. They're not leaving Earth as a whole planet, but they have to get people to go up into space to try and create a new energy source because the world is dying, or it's running out. I think it's running out of oils, and it's just
tell us something. We
like
don't
Interstellar.
Know.
It's like life. Because again, it's a space thriller, and it's all going to shit up on the ship,
and
you don't know, and they're all it's like every crew, and they all have the same generic. I mean, life didn't as much, but it has generic casting in terms of you have one Asian person, you have one who is cocky and will probably die and be the villain.
Yeah.
And then it's also like Prometheus, because I'm confused why it feels like there's like evil sentience about it, like controlling them. There's some, and like in the trailer you see the arm and all those kind of weird bits, and why one of them feels like he goes a bit bad.
Yeah, just we never really found out what. We'll talk about that when we go to spoilers. But yeah.
Before going to spoilers.
Yeah.
If you're watching this film and not comparing it to other Cloverfields or trying to link it, as a space thriller, do you think it works much?
You think it does?
So do you think it does?
No. No, it doesn't. It doesn't because there's too much. There's not enough for it to be a Clover film and a Clover film.
Clover film. Nice, it's a new term we've coined there.
Clover film. No, it's not. Yeah, it's not enough for it to feel like a Cloverfield film, and it's not so little that it could just be any other film. It's just right smack bang in the middle of both, which is bad.
I think if you'd stripped away the Cloverfield title, this would feel like a really shit, like said,
it would
Netflix
just be a crappy
space film.
Netflix space film, yeah.
When they're trying to do big budget films like Bright Now, and they're just shitter.
Yeah, well, it's exactly what I thought it was when that trailer came up on YouTube yesterday, and I started watching it, and then I was like,
before you realised it was Cloverfield.
Yeah, I was like, this looks absolutely rubbish, and then it came up flipping Cloverfield at the end. I was like, no.
It's it doesn't really. Again, if we're not going into the spoilers yet, it's very strange. For one, there's some weird leads that aren't followed.
Yeah.
In there, it doesn't really. There's bits that are fine, but then it is pretty mediocre. If it wasn't a Cloverfield film, you have to kind of. The only thing that made this interesting to me, I know, is that it was a Cloverfield film, and I want to know how it links into the others.
Yeah.
Or what it has to do with the others.
Everyone's also saying, I've seen quite a few things now where people have said, but it was really good performances and stuff. I don't think they were great. They were fine.
They weren't great. They were fine. Yeah, a few of them were fine.
But it's just weird that people are picking up on the acting when I don't actually think anyone was particularly.
There wasn't enough outstanding stuff to not make the shit stuff stand out.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Brawl was fine. I think a few of them were fine, but they weren't any. Like again, they didn't have enough to stand out.
Even
Chris O'Dowd was fine.
Chris
Sort of
O'Dowd was better than.
But then they turned him into a joke. They kept making like weird joke. They make weird jokes to try and make it like half a comedy.
Yeah.
Because the Martians did it, because Guardians did, where it's like a comedy in space. They suddenly now have started trying to do that with all these space films, like where there's a crew in space. They always try and make them play jokes, and it's kind of odd how they do that.
At least they didn't have anyone put on like an old 80s album. That would have been
No,
it.
they had some like upbeat music at the start when they were playing about, but it only lasted about 2 seconds. It wasn't like a montage.
I'm glad that you made me stick with it, because I was more than happy to have turned it off after about the first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a slow first half hour.
It wasn't even slow, it was unwatchable.
Crappy.
It was a terrible script, pretty bad acting at the start. It's a plot you've heard a million times. It's just boring.
Yeah.
Why would you keep that on? Like, honestly, in the first 10 minutes, if it wasn't a Cloverfield film, we would have turned that off.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we only watched it because even we knew it was shit. We were meant to be shit before we watched it. We watched it for the sake to talk about it.
It's on 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audience scores 58.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll go into how it connects to Cloverfield. We'll go into that quite a bit in a bit.
Mm.
The first night was the intro. It felt like 10 Cloverfield Lane at the start for me. The music and the way it was sort of that really weird, just thrown into this world.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like an intro. It was really strange for a start of the film. It just kind of.
I enjoyed that, but I just
Other than it took about 8 minutes for it to come up with the Cloverfield paradox.
Yeah, it was a long intro. I kind of forgot that we hadn't had the thing come up.
It was really weird because the credits come up quite a bit before that. It was really strange. They were just basically waiting for a shot of the space station to then write it over the top, which is weird. We said about the score. It sounds quite expensive, but it's really over the top. It's really dramatic, and it kind of doesn't make it feel sort of isolated when they have that kind of kind of score all the time.
It's not very stand out at all.
No. It feels like a score they've had free rights to it.
Yeah,
just take it.
It does. Yeah. Like you could type in a genre, and it would come up with that, and then you could just inject it straight in.
Yeah, it's very true. Should we go into narrative?
Yes.
You want to, where do we start? Should we say spoilers? Spoilers.
Yeah, let's just go into spoilers.
Because, spoilers. Huh?
I didn't like that.
You didn't like that? Why?
Nah, just didn't.
Well, good thing you're not signing
I don't know what the old spoiler thing is.
Spoiler. I don't know. I just like to edit into it, don't use it.
Sad though, because I spent a long time on that.
We only use it once, didn't we? Wow! So the narrative.
Yeah.
So like we already said, she goes up to the bleeding lady, as well as the rest of the crew go up into space with the thing. So the shepherd is called the name of the ship is called Cloverfield.
Yes.
Which is very confusing. And then they have something on Cloverfield, their space station, called Shepherd.
Yeah.
Which is the energy source. I don't really understand what it's doing or how it works. I don't know if we missed that because we weren't really paying attention for the first half because it was fucking dull, or it was just not really explained very well because like most of the stuff in this film isn't.
No.
But they have a power source which, if they try to activate, if they can stabilise it, again it will kind of beam energy down to Earth. I don't know. It creates enough energy for Earth.
That we wouldn't need any like fossil fuels anymore.
Yeah.
And it would
which we seem to be running out of.
Yeah, be able to power Earth for what's it says? Forever. I wish it said like
for the rest of time.
Yeah, that's what I prefer it said rather than flipping. No one's gonna say that on the news.
For the unforeseen future would probably make more sense because it's predicting it as opposed to saying.
For the what?
Unforeseen future. Unforeseeable future.
No, foreseeable.
Foreseeable future. Unforeseen. Foreseen.
For the foreseeable future.
Yeah, but you can see the foreseeable future. I'm saying that you can't see the foreseen.
Okay.
And then it all goes to shit. Basically, you find out there's an author who wrote a book called The Cloverfield Paradox. I don't know why he's called it The Cloverfield Paradox. I know the ship's called Cloverfield, but why does that make it the paradox?
Oh no. Well,
it's too on the nose because the film is called Cloverfield Paradox. It's kind of like roll the credits.
Yeah. I didn't like that, and that's in everything as well. It's got some like nutty like author of whatever. They're like, this is the reason why it won't work, and everyone goes, that guy's crazy. Just ignore him, and then it always happens.
Yeah, and that's the reason why they all know that this happens is because of that one author who wrote a book. But how long have they been up there? Because he wrote that book pretty fucking fast.
Well, I think they've probably been planning it for quite a while. I think people.
How's he got the information?
Well, no, I think Earth knew that's what they were going to try and do.
Who was going to know? What, everyone on Earth?
I think it was like a widely known thing that they were going to try and get people up to.
Write a book on it. How did he write a book on it? Didn't explain who he was and how he's rated to it.
Right, yeah.
He wrote a book about how it could go wrong, all the science of it. How could you know the science of that ship to that like?
I don't know. People do write books on
well, you had to study it. I don't know. Just a bit strange. Anyway, the timing of it was him talking about while they were up there doing the test, and just so happens the next test that they took fucked it up.
Yeah.
We're talking about timing in this film. It's quite funny with the plot, like everything that's used for the plot. Yeah. Anyway, basically what happens? So it all goes to shit quite early on, where they try and fire it, and it does go to shit, and it kind of splits a hole or tears into time and like space and time. And as soon as they said that in the film, I was like, all right, okay, so this is how they're going to explain Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what it did. Explain the other films and how they're all linked. So they aren't like... So obviously the whole idea was they're an anthology series, but clearly they're not. It's because the reason why the timelines don't match up is because they're all in separate universes.
Yeah.
Which we'll get more into, but that's essentially why this film has been used as a Cloverfield film.
Yeah.
And not its own film like it was when it was the God Particle.
Yeah.
It's to do with the reality. But the thing is, it doesn't ever go... When it starts going wrong, and you start having these weird things going on with time and space, it never goes into any explanation, into any try to understand or anything like that. All they say is, oh, it's just what we don't know, so we can't explain it. It's their excuse for not going to why an arm can run around by itself.
I know, when he's like, these are not the things that we know. I was like, okay, so you don't need to explain anything there.
So why, and like I said, and what I was saying about being like Prometheus is, it felt like, why was the guy evil for a bit? Why was his eyes going funny?
Yeah, I know.
Why did he talk to himself?
I know. Was there someone inside him? Was his own body inside him?
It was the worms, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The worms have teleported inside of him, but he wasn't where the worms were. So that's the ship. This is what I said to you. Okay, so they could have tried to make interesting. So we said the girl back on Earth.
Yeah.
The leading lady's husband.
Yeah.
Found that girl in the hospital.
Yeah.
Who was from Philadelphia, and her parents from Philadelphia. She wasn't near him.
No.
Why didn't they go, okay, well, the world was on a different... She came from another reality.
Yeah.
Well, in that reality, Philadelphia was in that place.
Yeah.
Circling, because obviously the world is rotating.
Yeah.
Was in the place of where he was, and she teleported, and it landed in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
If everything landed in the exact same spot, it was in another reality. That would make sense, because it's trying to mold, like, it's,
That's what I was trying to say to you yesterday.
About the stuff that's trying to fight for the same space.
No, I was saying, when the woman appears on the wall?
Yeah.
And I said, I wonder if that's going to make sense. Is it just that they were slightly overlapping? Or are they just trying to, like, make it look cool? And they were just trying to make it look cool, because otherwise, like you say, if that little girl had, like, transported or whatever, teleported, blah, 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 just ended up where she was, because that's where she was in her world, why is it just her? Why isn't everyone from that world
come over to this world? I think the issue is...
Yeah, but why haven't some of us gone to the other world, then?
They probably have, but they don't get into it. That's the problem. So they don't explain it. And they didn't explain with the little girl if that's what happened. I think she was just in the hospital, because they didn't explain that she didn't. They never said because they didn't say she came. I think she was in that reality, because he called her parents, and they were like, "Oh, thank God you found her. We're so grateful." So she was. Do you get what I mean? So they kind of.
So how she shifted place in the same world?
I don't think she did. I think she was just there. I don't know why she was in the film. This is the problem with this. So everything that happens with the reality shifting is convenient to the plot. Yeah. The only thing that you see shift is the photo where you see that it's Jansen on this crew. Is that name Jensen or Jansen, whatever her name is?
Jensen.
The picture changes. Thank God, because then you realise she was on another crew in another reality. The door locks because in another reality it's probably locked as opposed to open, so that locks. Yeah. And then the only thing that wasn't was like maybe the tabletop change colour of the players. It was just some really on the nose. It was just really on the nose with all the shifting. His arm did, but then his arm fucking told him what to do.
I was going to say, why was his arm fighting for the same space, but his arm went into another space, but then it wasn't another space. It was still on their spaceship, and then it was trying to help them.
Well, that's what they said. They can't explain it, but then it's really lazy. They're just saying, we can't explain it, stuff happens. But I can accept that a bit more with the arm, but I don't know why it's still alive. That's when they said, well, we can't explain it, that's why we don't know what the arm's done. But then why do it know what to fucking write?
I know.
Because it doesn't have a mind, so how does an arm know what to write? And he wasn't right.
I know.
It's so
I know.
all over the place.
Yeah.
The only jumping about I quite liked was the fact she was in the wall and it was going through her. Cause it
I was going to say, I really liked that because it was like something had shifted and so, yeah.
And it merged, yeah.
Really
and if they explained
that
the girl was there because the Earth was on a different rotation, that would have been nice. And then, so, yeah. Basically, this tear has also brought monsters through. I think we've gone way past the narrative, but all this kind of stuff about multiverse can be interesting. It's very popular at the moment, especially because of Rick and Morty, but it didn't ever go into anything interesting or use it. This is what makes Black Mirror stand out to other sci-fi stuff like this. Is Black Mirror goes into explaining this stuff and using it for like awesome reason. Like they take the concepts and they like throw them about and sort of use them to make interesting challenges, whereas this doesn't. It uses multiverse and just doesn't do anything with it other than not explain anything, so it's just kind of pointless. Than all it does is answer one question about the Cloverfield universe.
No. It just seems like a really annoying thing, one of those typical things where it's a really cool idea, but then everyone's going, oh, it'd be so cool if it was like a girl on the wall. It'd be so cool if its arm like went through the thing. It'd be so cool if it's having...
The arm was so weird.
It's annoying, and it doesn't look like the Addams Family arm. You know, what's the hand in the Addams Family? The one that, like, it just pulls itself along.
God, no. I know, I think I've seen...
Just a hand alive by itself.
There are quite a few films by themselves, but why is it I know it aren't by itself?
It just didn't make any sense
why...
Doctor
Who.
Yeah.
With the mannequin arm.
Oh, yeah. It just didn't make any sense why it was trying to help them, though.
No.
And also, it went through when his arm went through the wall and it came off, I said to you, oh, is it gone, like, into another reality? And so they're trying to, like, get rid of his arm in the other reality, but then it just rocked back up in the same place.
Yeah, it was very confusing. Stuff kept shifting. It didn't make any sense. That's what I mean, because it wasn't even attempting to explain any of it.
No.
And what I said about everything being like convenient to the plot, also his files came through.
Yeah.
But did the computer change as well? Because files were digital. How did the files come into this computer unless a whole computer changed?
I couldn't work out whether they were suddenly on the other ship, but then where had all the other people gone?
They weren't on the other ship. They're still on their ship, and their ship shifted. There was basically.
But then why were things changing colour, and why was the other crew
instead of being two separate areas, they were fighting for the same place, so they were merged over each other. So some stuff was. So the other crew probably wasn't there because they were stuck. They weren't there because they were fighting for a place, but they didn't end up coming free. So I mean, it's kind of like.
Where are they then if they're not there?
Oh fuck knows. Still in their reality, but they're fighting for the same position. It's like two realities clashing into. So if you had like two, so it's like the whole thing. Is it a Venn diagram? And you have two circles. You think of it like that, and then most of it's on its own separate, and then there's a bit merging in the middle.
It's just annoying.
Leo science for Cloverfield.
It's annoying though, because it doesn't make any. It doesn't.
No.
And it could be a really cool idea. Like I love that idea. Two things fighting for the same space. That's awesome. But then where are they when they're not there? I don't even mind if they don't explain that. But I also don't want it to just be like, how convenient was it that just she came through and she was the one that was like, I'm going to save my planet.
Yeah. It's just,
Oh, obviously you didn't see the rest of her crew. But the rest of her crew was them. So how convenient is it that like...
Only Jensen came through.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't know what was going on with the other guy who annoyingly was the suspicious character, and he became evil and made a gun.
Do you think it's maybe that because they were the only two different ones, they were both there, but then everyone else was in both realities, so they were maybe like crossing over each other, like crossing over themselves.
Daniel Brühl's character was meant to be betray in that one. He said, "I'm not that one."
Yeah.
Honestly, like you said, they said, "Oh, we can't explain this. It's something we never dealt with before," and also they don't explain it. That was their excuse. Now, as I said about we said about pretty much all stuff about this and about the characters as well, and how where's one suspicious guy? There's the Joker, which is Chris O'Dowd's character. All the cliches. It
was annoying because I thought when he very first came on, I thought, oh, he's going to be that really annoying, jokey character. But then he kind of wasn't like that, and he
pushed him as soon as he lost his arm.
Yeah, and we kept saying like, oh, he's actually delivering those lines really well because they're not very well written lines, but he's actually managing to make them sound half decent. And then like you said, when he lost his arm, he just went back to being like a joke, and it was really annoying. It's actually I thought he gave one of the better performances. I know, that was
they're all scientists and they're all fucking idiots.
Yeah, again. It's like every time you get a policeman, they're like, don't go in there. They're like, it's okay, man, I'm an officer. Yeah, but you're still going to get shot because you're an idiot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And then again, like every other fucking cliche to a sci-fi thriller is they all die one by one. And there's only one or two left at the end.
Yeah.
And it ends like life because they go down back to Earth on a pod when they shouldn't have, and they're like, oh no, I should have come back.
Yeah.
It's like all of these like recent space films thrown into one.
Life is good though, I like
Yeah,
that.
Life was good, but I'm saying this is copied it a little bit.
Yeah.
It is a mess.
It
I don't know what to
is.
say about it without going into all the Cloverfields and how it all links.
No. Well, let's talk about then the end of that when the big thing came up through the clouds, because as it started landing, we obviously thought, oh, that's the bit that you see.
Well, it's a very similar shot the way it's falling, isn't it?
You think it's their footage from the first one, and we went,
She explains more because I don't know if everyone looks in the Cloverfield. So at the end of the first Cloverfield film. Oh, sorry, okay. I didn't. Go. You do it.
Oh, that's alright. I was just going to say we were like, oh, because we thought that it was the footage that you see from the very end, when they're just on like a date or something, and he films out to sea, and you see the pod crash. We thought that this pod crashing was the one that you saw in the first one, but then it really quickly turns out that it can't be because a huge monster comes through, and it's like comes above the clouds, and that doesn't happen on their footage, so it can't be the same landing.
Which is why this doesn't make sense. But that's the one bit that I don't think people can still find an answer for. Is
that's the one thing that messes up our whole theory.
Yeah,
unless it's a different pod. But that just seems completely ridiculous.
Yeah. It seems like there's no point doing that at the end.
No.
So yes, at the end of the first Cloverfield, like I said, so you have that pod come down, and then obviously the monster doesn't come out straight. One, because the monster in the first Cloverfield is probably an infant, because it's not as huge as the one, because this one at the end of Cloverfield Paradox goes above the clouds, it's standing above the clouds, whereas the one in the first Cloverfield can't go above buildings, like skyscrapers.
It's really small. I mean, it's not really small, but in comparison, it's like
tiny compared to
the size of this one's hand.
It's supposedly an infant, and J.J. Abrams said himself this was an infant.
Yeah. Which is cool. I love that. I thought that monster was actually really cool, and I don't normally like it when you see monsters like that, but it's actually quite terrifying. I think just the sheer size of it is really scary.
The first Cloverfield's great. As is 10 Cloverfield Lane, and they work. Yeah. If this is how they connect, that works fine. I like this whole universe. I love that he's made it like JJ's made it like Lost, where it always weird and there's different things, but
that makes it all not possible.
Why have you put the pod in there? Well, it doesn't make it not possible. It just means it's a really stupid thing to do. It's more just a shot to make please people at the end, cause...
Well, kind of, but the only way that it would make what we've just been saying possible is if it isn't the same pod. It'd have to be a different pod.
Yeah. Which it has to be then, which is stupid, yeah, because why would you show that?
But I don't think it is. I don't think it is meant to be a different pod.
No, but it has to be.
I know, but it just feels like they've just gone, oh yeah, shit. Oh, yeah.
But in the first one, it's a satellite.
Sea like that. Huh?
But in the first film, it says it's a satellite. And also, the Cloverfield station isn't built in the first one, because in the first one, I'm pretty sure the first one's set in 2008 when the film came out, and this one is set in 2028, didn't they say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that couldn't be that first one anyway. It's just weird that they've used the same shot, made it look like it's falling.
Yeah, maybe they were just trying to fool people, and to be fair, they got me, because when you see a shot like that, you think you know what's going to happen, which from this shot would have been nothing because it was above the clouds still. And then when that thing came through...
Here's an easy fix.
He peed my pants.
Here's an easy fix.
Yeah.
At the end of Cloverfield Paradox, have it falling like it was, show it for a bit longer, and have it disappear in the air.
How that?
Because then it disappeared and went into 2008 and landed in 2008. They get shot out into another. Yeah. That would make more sense.
That'd be awesome.
And have the monster still pop up if you want the monster in this film, because that would still make sense. Because you say, well, the monsters are there in 2028, wrecking the Earth, because that's a different dimension. Yeah. And just have the ship disappear in the air so they don't make it back, but they end up landing in 2008 into that pod into the sea.
Maybe that is what's happened. We saw it go in the clouds, but you didn't see it go any further.
If it isn't. You heard it here first.
If it is, that'd be amazing.
Because in the first one, you just see it come out of the clouds and land across the thing. Well, yeah. Well, then there you go. I'm going to write that online. That's the theory.
Do it after, say, just like calling it now. Heard it here first. This is what I think. Because
fell into the clouds and disappeared, and then when it came out in 2008, that would make sense. And then it came before the monsters had got there.
Yeah.
Because the monster is still because it wakes. Wait, that's what wakes the monster up. I'm pretty sure it's that, and it's to do with the rig.
They said that the rig awoke it.
Yeah. Because they were testing around like the seabed nectar and all that, like viral marketing. Also, if you haven't gone into all the Cloverfield stuff, there are some very good videos on YouTube that we've spent many an hour watching.
Yeah, you've spent more time than I have.
The viral marketing is absolutely phenomenal for all of it, and it's really interesting. And it goes into a lot.
I swear it's annoying when they just dump a film like this. It's like you spent so much time putting all that work in for the final product to be a heap of poo.
That, I'm telling you, this last shot in this one, like Paradox, is just to make people go, "There's the monster!" Because you haven't seen it this whole. You've seen the monsters this whole film. That's really shitty. Because the Cloverfield, if you're going to give me anything out of a Cloverfield film, just give me fucking monsters as well. Like, because Cloverfield Lane, Cloverfield Lane, the monsters were shit, but there were still monsters at some point. As terrible as the ending to that was. We said so.
Yeah, I really liked the monster when you did see it. I did actually really like it. It's quite scary. Paradox. That's just the last shot.
Yeah, it's just the first one, but
but it's massive.
Yeah, it's massive. I think. Oh god, this is the recording is going crazy, but it always does this. So the easiest theory to explain all this that people are going with, I think we haven't watched masses on it, is that the 3 Cloverfield films are all in different universes or dimensions, or however you want to say it's a multiverse,
times.
and they're in different space. Yeah,
they're in different times in different realities.
Yes, that's the better word. Realities. The first one's obviously when, and basically on the poster it says the future. Oh, I forgot what the quote says now. About the future ruining it all. On the poster it says the future.
What, for this
where
one?
it started, yeah. What is it?
Doesn't it say like 10 years ago something happened?
No, that's the trailer.
I thought that's what you're talking about.
No, on the poster it says the future. It started everything.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it? Here it is. The future unleashed everything. So we got one word different. Yeah. So basically, I think that's very. Well, that is what this is then, isn't it? So it all kicked off here. They ripped open time and space. Yeah. A bit like The Mist, and then when they ripped open time and space, these monsters from wherever they came from, and different monsters, because in 10 Cloverfield Lane you've got they have ships.
They've got
and they've obviously come through.
And they've got weird like openy faces.
I remember the openy face. Oh, do you mean like the dog thing?
Yeah.
Don't remember what it looked like, if I'm honest.
Oh, I think it looked like an openy face.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I was just reading the definition of paradox.
Yeah.
Because I thought I knew what it meant, and I do, but equally,
a challenge you can't.
Huh?
I thought paradox was like a kind of puzzly, challenging thing that you can't explain.
I just thought it was something that, sort of when it's explained, it doesn't. Like it contradicts itself, which is basically what this says. But reading it like the official definition does make me go, "Oh, okay, I get why they have named it that." Because it's a statement or proposition that, despite sound or apparently sound reasoning, from acceptable premises, leads to a conclusion that seems senseless, logically unacceptable, and self-contradictory. So it's basically, paradox means like it can be whatever the F you want it to be.
Yeah. Which is what it is. Which is why this whole thing, and I don't think they were ever going to give us. It's just sad because the whole point of this was to explain the Cloverfields by the sound of it, how they're marketing it, but it didn't. It only asked more questions. Although, at the same time, I will accept that it gave us an answer of where these fucking monsters have come from, and how this all links together now, how it works.
It did, but equally, it did and it didn't.
Why?
Well, because...
we know why all the monsters are on Earth now.
Why?
Because they've come through rips in time.
Yeah, they've come through rips in time. Where? Where have they come from?
Anywhere in any existing galaxy.
Why are they in the sea then? Why have they been alive? But doesn't
because
it say at some
because
point...
things moved,
I know, but doesn't it say that they've been asleep in the sea for thousands of years?
No, it says that thing was sleeping in the sea, yeah. In all the environmental.
I swear in the first Cloverfield it says that it was asleep in the sea for thousands of years.
I don't think so, no. It doesn't mention anything to do with the monster in the first Cloverfield.
Oh.
Other than that's all viral marketing says about what the monster was. You have no idea where it comes from in the film. I'm pretty sure that's just in the city.
Why is it in the sea?
Because that's what all the stuff to do with the rigs. It was underwater, but it could have gone. But she ended up in a water. It could have ended up in the sea. It could have ended up down there, and it could have been asleep when it would. If it was in a slumber, I'm fine with that and accepting that it teleported there.
Yeah.
And the reason what I mean is I'm fine because then this gives a reason to why 10 Cloverfield Lane has such strange and different monsters is because they've come from another. I like that, and it's all to do with them. They've been chucked around all over the place from other existences.
I do, but I think it'd also be interesting if there was all these different monsters coming out. But the problem is as well that ones in Cloverfield Lane, they come from the sky, and they have ships.
Yeah. Why couldn't it happen in?
But it seems like a really intelligent life form then.
Yeah, but there would be in the galaxy, in the universe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they're so different from the big monsters. They're different species. They're different things existing in the universe.
No, I do like that. I was just
they're all evil and hate people. I don't know, but then I guess maybe if we got teleported, we'd be like, "Come on, you fuckers!" So.
Yeah. I was just thinking it would be really cool if all these monsters coming out, they had been asleep. They had been just like dormant for thousands and thousands of years, and then they just came out, but they were all different because they were all like been dormant in different environments. I quite like that. I think it's because that feels really believable. Like if something came out the sea now and it had been asleep for like 100 years, you could kind of believe that.
I think that was a very cool way of doing it without having to just it being on Earth and being underneath that. Yeah. That was a very cool idea compared to
I prefer that, I think.
Was it Godzilla?
Because it's quite scary to think that it had always been there.
Well, Godzilla was from radiation.
What's all the stuff then? Didn't they say that because of like experiments and stuff out at sea, that was what made the monster? I swear that's what they said.
No, they were saying about the seabed nectar which was in the slusher drink.
Yeah.
Gave people stomach aches is what they were hinting at, and those little monsters when they like the explosive stomach and the idea that the seabed nectar was relating to all of it because that's where they were on the seabed with that stuff, and that stuff has some issues.
But you know the bomb that went off like out at sea?
When?
Isn't that...
The rig blows up. The rig doesn't blow up. The rig goes down, and you think it's the monster
I thought there was something about bombs that they were exploding at sea.
No, the satellite. I thought the point was the satellite.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
No, it shook it, and the satellite shook the ground. That's what woke it up at one point, and then at another point it was to do with the rig trying to experiment with it and really woke it up. I don't know, but the thing is that it's not as relevant to this film because this is about survival. But
well, no, it is because if they're saying that all of the monsters came because they've made this rip in time, then
you could have spawned under the sea. I assume they can breathe underwater. How the fuck would be down there? Unless it was stuck in some sort of like airtight bit, unless it teleported inside something. And this is the thing. It opens up so much more questions than it answers. Yeah. Other than we know how they're on Earth and how monsters exist. Yeah. I was just thinking as well. He says, and I think this is a bit of a hint now. The next one, I'm not really a fan of actually.
Yeah.
He says the author of the Cloverfield paradox in this film, they focus on the word demons quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because they say about we could even open up to monsters and demons and no one says what you actually think. You're actually saying that this might cause demons, and he's like yeah, and I was like. Demons is saying about demons and sort of about spiritual stuff and religious stuff is quite different to saying monsters. Monsters feels like it's something else that could exist in this universe. Saying demons is a very human thing. Yeah, it seems quite strange to like bring that up.
Yeah,
and it's that kind of like sort of cosmic horror kind of style, like Cthulhu kind of style of. But I think they were saying so much in this film about demons at the start because I think the next one, which is set in World War II. Which apparently comes out in October, I'm pretty sure, so it still comes out this year as well, which is insane.
That's cool.
I think so. It's based. So the information we got is it's based in World War II, and it's following whoever the protagonists are fighting Nazis and other supernatural powers. It says if they're saying supernatural and they're not saying monsters, maybe this whole demons thing is to do with stuff that's going on.
Hitler.
Well, they're fighting Hitler anyway. Yeah. It's to do with this next film. Which is really odd if they can do like a supernatural.
That'd be so rubbish if they were like
the
demon is in Hitler, and that's why.
It'd be really crap if they try and make it because it's more believable just as a human than. Yeah, but it's weird that
I do like it, but it's such a reported time in history that if there were big monsters and stuff, I think we probably would have heard about it.
Yeah, but this is the whole paradox. This is a paradox. Well, a paradox. This is kind of like a loop as well. Then
I don't like it
because it wouldn't have been in World War II. until it has. This is what's interesting now. But then it can be in World War II and not be, because it could be in a different reality.
Yeah.
So in all of these realities we've seen, they're not going to mention it in World War II because it was never in their World War II. But in another reality,
it
World
wasn't
War II
in
is
our
just
World
happening
War II.
now.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. This is why in Cloverfield Lane they never mentioned the monsters never existed before in 2008. It's because it's a different reality where that didn't happen.
Yeah.
The best way of looking at it is, this is the best way of looking at it. If you had like a graph of just like straight lines, which are all these realities, like horizontal, vertical lines, just like along, and you had the idea of just a diagonal line going through them, and these vertical lines are all timelines, and the diagonal lines where they've just torn through.
Yeah.
Because then it's all at different times, but in different areas, so they don't cross.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
I should make a science video about Cloverfield.
You should. You should. Maybe I'll get it a bit more. Not joking. I do get it. What I was gonna say about this film is, though, I don't think anybody needed a film to try and explain everything. Like, something that is so good about Cloverfield is that it's really ambiguous and you kind of have to make up your own mind about it. But if they were going to do it, which obviously they have, don't make it even more ambiguous than now. Just open it up to absolutely everything.
So they can do whatever they want with it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's annoying.
That's my issue.
If you are going to do it, then give a few answers and maybe... Sure, like, open up a couple of questions. Don't just have a film that goes, this is why this happened, this is why this happened, because that's boring. But, I mean, it's just literally made, like, gone, right, now we can do whatever we want, and you can't question it, because it's all a paradox.
My issue with it is similar to that. I think it's more the fact that if this film, okay, so it's about explaining why it all happens.
Yeah.
But the film doesn't focus on that. The fucking film focuses on a whole other, like, solo plot of, like, getting back to a family and all this bollocks going on in the ship. Yeah. It's not about explaining all the Clifford that just sort of happened in the background, but make it about that. That's more interesting. Otherwise, just make that the viral marketing, because that'd be really interesting to find out. Like, the viral marketing for this film would be quite interesting to find out about that.
They tried to make it quite character heavy, but I didn't care about the characters.
No.
I think that was a big issue.
And it wasn't about splitting the universe. I know it came into, like, going back to her kids where they're alive and all that at the end, but it wasn't about everything else everything else they fucked up. And also, going back to what we just said about her landing back in 2008 and it teleporting once it hits the clouds, they should have had at the end of the credits, at the very end of the credits, have him say, where have they gone?
Yeah.
Why they've just or someone just say on the phone they've just disappeared.
Yeah. Do we watch it right to the end of the credits?
No.
Oh.
If we did say that.
Maybe we should.
What? Why?
Maybe we should just double check.
Well, it doesn't say anything.
No, there's nothing at the end of the credits.
We've watched some videos on this now, and I guarantee they would have said it in.
Don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll open Netflix up right now.
Yeah, have a look.
Oh no, it's not going to play out on that. I have to do it. No, screw it, I can't.
All right. Well, hopefully there's nothing. I thought that.
I don't think there is. I think we would have seen.
Oh, right. I thought that they might show them getting all the way back to Earth, and that they had somehow gone to her world.
Between her world.
Because they were going to go to her world in the pod.
When you're saying who, do you mean Jensen's world?
Yeah, sorry.
Jensen's reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they were saying they were going to go, that she wanted to go there, but then obviously, what's the main one called?
The main woman.
Yeah.
Hamilton, isn't it?
Hamilton, that's it.
Is it Hamilton?
Yeah, it's Hamilton. No, it is. It's definitely Hamilton. Yeah. Yeah, because obviously Hamilton wanted to go to her reality, but Jensen wanted to go to her reality, and Hamilton was going to go to
That was so confusing. Their own realities.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, no, actually, no. Hamilton didn't want to go back to her own reality, did she?
No,
she wanted to go to Jensen's, yeah. And then obviously decided, no, I will go back to my own reality. But then I thought it might show them going all the way back to Earth, and then it turned out that she was actually in Jensen's reality.
At the very end of Jensen's, yeah.
I thought that's what they might do. Because I still don't totally understand how... I don't know.
How what?
How they were going to get to Jensen's.
All the scientific explanations in this is opposed to the science they're doing to do what they can do. Like,
I know they were going...
They don't explain... This is what I said to her, which was like, how do they know how to get back to their own reality? Because it happened and it's shot them there.
But they were just going to go in a pod to Jensen's reality. How are they going to do that? I know the exact coordinates for Jensen's reality.
Well, they could see Earth, couldn't they, though? So they could probably have worked that out. I can buy that, but I can't buy how they got back.
No, because they could see... Yeah, but they got to see... Whose Earth could they see by the end? Hamilton's or Jensen's?
At the very end of the film,
Yeah.
Hamilton's the main, the
Right.
reality that they
Yeah.
come from,
That's fine then. But they were going to send Hamilton and Jensen to Jensen's reality.
which they
so
could
how
also
did...
see.
Well, they could see two Earths.
No, but they jump back reality. That's what I'm saying. They were in Jensen's reality for most of the film. So near the start of the film, when it all goes to shit and they lose the Earth,
Yeah.
they don't lose the Earth. They jump to Jensen's reality.
Yeah.
For most of the film, they can see Earth in Jensen's reality because she sees the film of her kids and stuff alive, and she can see the Earth. It's just further away because they're in a different position.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. What annoys me is that, and then Schmidt and Hamilton set it up so they manage to get themselves back to their own reality, and they know that they succeed because they see the Earth right by them again. Don't know the Earth was right next to them again. But what annoys me is how the fuck do they know what to do to get back to their own reality?
Right,
because if this is we can't explain anything, then.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Because the thing that's how they get back the I don't know what it was called, the old little mystical Harry Potter ball. They get it looks like a bludgeon.
I know, it's hilarious because they were like, "Oh, cut him open! Oh, quick, let's cut him open!" There's this massive thing inside him. He was a slim fellow. Would you not have noticed that he had a gigantic?
And was that not killing him? And he had worms in him. He had unlucky guy got worms in him and that as well.
I'm not sure that it was the worms that did it.
How did the arm know that was inside of him? Because the arm said cut him open.
Yeah, I know. God knows. And how did a few of them stomping on the floor 2 times kill
all those worms?
1,000 worms.
And why do they need to kill the worms? The worms.
I know the worms. This is
what I'm saying.
Come on.
This is what I'm saying about this film, about the ominous evil spirits in it. It wasn't just about time travel. There was weird evil shit going on. The heart stuff of his arm getting pulled off was strange, like he was being pulled through. And the stuff of, I keep forgetting his name, the fucking guy who was suspicious at the start, Voltok, ended up being evil. And tried to kill. What? Why didn't he try? It didn't.
I know. It's like
actually, did he not trust? He didn't trust Schmidt, did he?
No, I was gonna say I think him and Schmidt were probably working together in the other in Jensen's reality. So
working together.
Well,
I think.
Well, they were both. Maybe not working together, but they were both evil.
Maybe
in Jensen's reality.
Why would they both evil? Because he tried to kill Schmidt in this one. I think Voltok.
Oh, he tried to kill Schmidt in this one.
He made the gun trick. I think Voltok is from the other reality. Yeah. That's why he was so dodgy. He was 2 of them in one, and I think he knew about Schmidt's.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Backstabbing. And that's why he was on him, because he just found out about it because he merged with his other self, and that's why his eye was going funny.
Oh God.
But this is okay. Here's another bit that was kind of odd. With Chris O'Dowd, that metal was out to kill him. It looked like it was just being dragged to the wall. Yeah. Because his man, and then it grabbed him and pulled him to the other wall.
Yeah.
What was that? Is this the demon stuff?
Yeah, maybe.
Because that was out to, and then it blows up, but then something was doing that.
Yeah, it came at him, and then because it was all feeding itself through his eyes and his mouth and stuff.
I didn't know about that. All I remember, it was going magnet. I thought it was just the magnets, because the whole stuff, the magnet was going apeshit. It was pulling him to the wall. And we thought it was going to stab through him, but instead it grabbed him and pulled him. Yeah,
it grabbed him and pulled him back, and then when it goes back to him, it's holding him, and it all started going in his eye and going it's feeding itself through him.
Yeah, I didn't realise it was feeding it through. I just thought it was grabbing him. But again, so that's something sentient doing that then, surely. But we don't know. But it's I don't know if there's anything out there we've just missed stuff. But I
don't think we have missed it.
Strange shit going on here.
That's what I mean. That's kind of annoying because it's just.
It's Cthulhu.
Not that like I say, it's not like I want it all to be completely explained because it's cool to be like, oh, I wonder if that's that. Oh, I bet that's that. But this is just too much because this is everything now. It feels like
it's also easy to do that. It's easy to do stuff without explaining it.
Yeah, well, I could make loads of cool stuff and like.
If you can make theories that work and are sound theories, that's interesting. If you have to just make up shit and it can work because nothing made sense,
because
it's cheap. It's cheaper because anything to that didn't make any. I know he said about demons and stuff, but then explains something to do with what's happening, why they're being killed. Because like I said, he was purposely killed, and we don't know why.
And also, all the monsters are different and stuff, and it's because of tears in time. That suggests, because all the monsters are different, that suggests that they've come from different places. Why are the only things to come through in the tears in time are monsters?
Well, it wasn't only just monsters.
What was it then?
What else came through? Well, stuff on their ship did, and they maybe had a planet come through, or I don't.
Do you know what I mean, though?
We only saw, but that's what that's the whole comes under the whole thing that I was saying about everything that works with the plot is coming through. Like the only things that changed on the ship were things that would affect the plot. It wasn't anything it didn't affect the plot or like us as a viewer was the old football players changing colour. But that's for the audience. It wasn't anything just random. And then you had the photo change because it was like, oh, Jensen's in this one.
No, I know you said that already. Like, it's just stuff that's convenient that's happening to the plot. But I hadn't thought that before. So there's a tear in time, and the only things that are coming through are bad monsters.
Well, so far, yeah, we don't know if anything good coming through. But that's what we're saying is.
That's why I said.
That's why I said a second ago.
So
why are they all so aggressive?
Yeah.
But I was like, but then again, I don't know why if we went to another.
And why are they all? But they're all like not completely dissimilar monsters.
What do you mean?
Well, they're all big monsters.
Stuff in Cloverfield wasn't. It was about the size of a car, less than a car, and then
true.
it had ships. They had ships though. They weren't.
Oh no, that is true. You're right. Yeah.
I understand more why the evil thing's trying to kill Earth. It's strange, but then if they're from an entirely different part of the galaxy, maybe you would. It depends how sentient they are, how they work.
It's just weird that
like
they start trying to kill us off straight away.
Yeah, but then animals' instincts are usually to attack.
Yeah, true.
I don't
if
know.
they're that intelligent, then
they should have thought through stuff more. Like I said about the lady speaking Mandarin, she wasn't on the other crew. It was Jensen instead. But they could have had a coin. Like they could have hinted at and said, "Oh, in her reality, I don't know what her name was. The one speaking something like powered. Something just powered down."
I'm really glad you can hear that because sometimes when I have these headphones on, I'm worried that you can't hear the things I can hear, and it really scares me.
She might not have been in Jensen's crew, and Jensen took her place because there was a war with somewhere in Asia. Well, there was a war with Asia.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Or conflict of Asia. That's why she didn't end up on this crew. But they didn't bother explaining anything. As saying, like I said, with the girl being in Philadelphia, why it's just odd. So maybe she did just jump.
Like one American, one Russian, one English,
one
Russian, Irish.
There's always a German.
Was that on purpose? Maybe.
Well, there's one.
Would they have trying to have people from like every nation? Maybe.
I think you have to have representative nations. Maybe.
Yeah. But maybe that's why then.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that seems a bit weird. No.
I also thought about this when Jensen got shot out in space. And nothing really happened other than she died. I'm pretty sure that's what happens in space. Is you just freeze. I don't think you do explode or anything like that. I think that is correct. Anything else to say about it? I think that's pretty much everything. I like this theory of it went through the clouds and it disappeared and it landed in 2008. But then we'll probably never know because I'm sure they'll never explore that now.
And that'd have to be a very specific tear in time just there by the cloud.
It could be quite a wide split.
Yeah. But we haven't seen any of the splits, have we?
Only when his arm goes through the wall because the metal goes all weird.
And I guess you could argue in Cloverfield Lane that could be a tear and they come through the clouds like that.
What comes through the clouds like that?
Well, like from
Cloverfield Lane? What in Cloverfield Lane?
You know the thing that's coming from, like, you see the spaceship like at the end in the sky and stuff?
Yeah.
That could have just come through a tear just there.
Yeah, but they're already at war, aren't they? Because there's already creatures.
Yeah, but I'm saying they could have come through.
They didn't need to. They couldn't. And the thing is, they're spaceships, so they didn't need to come to Earth. They could have come through near Earth and then gone to Earth because it's the closest planet.
Yeah, but I'm saying you could argue that they've come through a tear too, like a specific tear. I don't know. I'm just trying to make the theory work.
Yeah, and this is the annoying thing. So they found out in a cool little Easter egg that the woman on the news report at the start of Paradox is the woman who runs up to the bunker in 10 Cloverfield Lane. Yeah. So they're just using the same actress to make a little Easter egg. Or is she the same woman? And is there a reason why she's both those places and there's different realities? Are they ever going to explain that, or are they just going to leave it open for theories?
Probably not.
And also about the thing of bunkers. It's strange. And then also the guy who wrote the book is related to Thingy in 10 Cloverfield Lane, the monster in 10 Cloverfield Lane. When I mean the monster, I mean, why's his name gone completely from my head? Actor's name.
John Goodman.
Yeah, John Goodman, sorry.
Yeah, they're related.
Yeah, they had the same. He has the same surname in that film as.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Why?
Because it's so ridiculous. What are the odds?
Well, he works for the same corporation, so maybe that's where he got it. It isn't, because if he got, that's why I said that make more sense if he got the information about it, or because John Goodman had the information about what was going on because he worked for him, even though they're in different fucking realities and they're about 10 years apart.
Yeah.
This is a nightmare, honestly. I think that's probably enough for that anyway. You got anything else to say about it? I didn't dislike it as much as I thought I would. I was just it just didn't focus on any of the Cloverfield stuff. It just threw it in, and that makes it very obvious that it wasn't originally a Cloverfield film.
I'm not 100% on the casting either.
It's really disappointing for a Cloverfield film.
Yeah.
I don't need crazy stuff.
No, I'm just saying I think it could have been better with different casting.
Yeah.
I have to say I didn't think much of her. What's her name again?
I don't know. I kept calling her the leading lady. It was all pretty
Hamilton,
generic space stuff.
Didn't think much of her at all.
No.
She was really she was just very dull to be a leading. If you're going to have that kind of storyline where you're meant to really care about her and her family and stuff, then I think, I don't know, you just needed someone.
Knows. You want to score it?
God knows what.
Stupid. What?
To make any sense to what I was saying.
What?
I was saying I think you could have I think it would have been better if you had somebody that was a bit more inhuman. God knows. I'm done with this, so you are too.
My head's going to explode.
I'm scoring it.
No, I completely agree. She's pretty nothing in this, but she would have got this because of Black Mirror. That's why the leading lady would have got it. It's because she did that. And clearly, I think JJ's got a thing for England because he wants a bit of the English stuff.
5.
I think a 5.4.
I think it's exactly half good. Yeah.
Who would you have cast different?
Her.
To who? I meant.
I would have cast a lot of them different.
I would have taken casts from Interstellar Life and Martian and.
I don't know who I would have cast. I don't know, somebody that's got a good, just a good face, a good emotive face. Because but films like that, they always do so many close-ups and so many bits of them looking concerned and worried. You just got to have somebody that's really good at that stuff, like John Krasinski.
Do you know what you didn't mention the older?
I would have put John Krasinski in the lead. There you go.
Yeah, but they had to have a mixed race female in the lead. You know that.
No.
Do you want to say? You didn't even say about the family video montage.
Oh yeah, when she was watching. When she was watching her home video of her children and her husband, and her obviously she's in it. It was like a perfectly put together montage of a kid blowing out candles. And
maybe there's an app in 2028 where it edits footage for you, makes it as perfect as can be.
I mean, that your iPhone does that for you now, to be fair.
Changes shots and automatically builds it for you.
I just love who's filming them as well.
Yeah,
who's filming them
in
like
every
that.
film it's always...
And they're really artistic shots too.
Yeah, and jumping about.
But I don't think that works. I don't think that works in its favour because it would be more...
It feels less real.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'd be more upsetting if it was just something recognisable, like a really crappily filmed birthday party,
but memories
everyone has.
Memories make me laugh in films, and people remember stuff as always their third person. It's like, no, why wouldn't you just see it through their eyes? Because that's how you'd remember stuff. You'd remember it from your eyes, not a montage of playing kids.
With memories, I don't mind so much because that's just artistic license. That's just however you want to portray it. But but it's always that. It's never been more. No, true. But I just with that, it's just dumb. It's dumb.
I don't really like the use of memories like that unless it's just audio. And it's not audio to do with the plot, but if it's just audio in the head. The only one I've really liked recently is 3 Billboards, and then you see a little flashback of her and her daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so blunt, and because it's not it's just blunt, and it's there for a reason. And it's edited in where it's not like a lighter colour, and there's no like a fading shot, it just cuts.
I think that's the problem is, the way it looks.
Yeah. It's always a bit lighter.
Or darker, depending on whether it's a good or a bad memory.
Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
Alright. So we get a 5 and 5.4.
Yeah.
It's a solid 10.4 out of 10. That's great.
Out of 20. 10.4 out of 10.
Oh
God, it's a paradox.
Right. It's time for the Superbowl Trailers. Was that
dun. It was actually, yeah.
Superbowl Trailers.
No, you've overdone it now. It was good the first time. Now you've ruined it.
Sorry. All right. I have to go for the shit. We've been talking about this film for 53 minutes.
You've been talking about your film for 53
Well, I'm going to get hired for a scientist job now.
No, you won't.
Alright, you're mean. Alright. In no particular order, there are an order of more exciting as they go along, bigger trailers as they go along.
We're going to talk about the trailers that were at the Super Bowl, by the way.
Yeah, that would be easy to say at the start. Yeah, we're going to have all the Super Bowl trailers. Announce it, to
be fair.
Yeah.
All of the new and exciting or not exciting, depending on what you are excited or not excited for, trailers.
Yeah, very true. This is the start of the surprise at Super Bowl.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place had a weird behind the scenes That behind the scenes, John Krasinski, who directed A Quiet Place, which we didn't realise, so we just saw.
Didn't you say he did the screenplay too?
Yeah. He pretty much produced. Well,
is there anything that man can't do? Probably.
I haven't seen him do much.
Probably can't. No, I mean because he's a really good actor, and now he's directing and writing.
Yeah. If this is good, we don't. It looks good. It
does look good. I'm so excited.
I feel like it comes at night. It feels a bit like it comes at night.
Yeah.
It does, because half I said that like you disagree. It does.
It does actually.
Because that whole the world is fucked.
Yeah.
And we're probably not going to know why.
It's fucked.
and they have to be quiet and in a house. It's very similar.
Your eyes just went really weird and scared me. You went.
Which will really annoy me if this does really.
You blinked one eye at a time. I don't even know how that could happen.
It put me in the eye.
It scared me.
This is gonna even if this does well, I'm happy it's doing well because if it's good, if it's shit and it does well, I'll be really annoyed because it does look really similar to It Comes at Night, which even though it critically did well, it made like no money.
It's just
what
I know what you mean, but it isn't because It Comes at Night there was like a weird virus as well.
But we don't know what it is. There might be a virus in this.
Well, if there's
she's crying in a tub.
If there's a virus,
dying.
then I will.
Krasinski should die. First 10 minutes, Krasinski now be upsetting because he wouldn't be on screen much.
No,
I think he should die half through the film. I think quite a bit without him, or she should die half through the film. One of them should die.
Or the kids.
No, because I hate that. Because the thing of killing off kids is why would they keep going? I don't feel like they'd keep going to survive if they lost both their kids.
Maybe they won't.
It's just dark.
And maybe the second half of the film will be nothing. And that is The Quiet Place.
Actually, before we go into all of these trailers, I want to say one big note for a more like an overalling thing for all the trailers at Super Bowl.
I could have done it better.
Yeah, exactly. They all show way too much.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah, but not just Super Bowl trailers. That's just a general
That's just trailers.
thing.
Yeah, but I just noticed going through these and looking at making notes. They all some trailers are good, but these all of them show too much. Other than maybe Westworld didn't so much because that's a TV series and there's a lot more footage to use.
Yeah. We don't know if A Quiet Place showed too much because we didn't watch.
Well, we saw the monster, and that's annoying.
We didn't see a monster.
Yes, it did. Something dropped down next to him. It was like a giant human-looking thing. It was giant. It was on 2 legs.
I didn't see that.
Did you not? Did you jump down next to her? It actually looked like the things from X-Men.
I didn't see that.
Past. Yeah.
So I was going to say to you.
And it was on the poster. It was on the poster, a shadow of it.
I was going to say to you because I'm so glad that you haven't actually seen.
Well, don't look at it then because you still haven't seen it. But it's on there. There's a shadow of the poster and it looks like it's like a giant human form. Not giant, but bigger than a human form.
Come on.
Like an elite from Halo, like chunky.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They showed that. She jumped next to her, which is really nice. And then it showed it running in the forest and you could see it through the trees a little bit running.
Oh, I saw there was something, but I can see what it looked like. Who did it drop down next to? Emily Blunt?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see
But it annoys me, but don't show any monster. You don't need
annoying.
to. Don't show,
yeah, because at this
point... I love It Comes at Night. You never see what it is.
Until you said that, I was going to say it in a minute. I love it because you don't even know if it's a monster yet.
Yeah. Because in the first trailer you don't, and also we paused the first trailer because we were like, that's enough. When they made a noise, we were like, and we could hear stuff on the ceiling. You could see scratch marks, so you know there's something, but
I'm so upset.
This is what I'm saying. They showed.
Was it definitely a monster though, or could it be a human?
It's a big fucking human if it's a human.
But it could be a weird big human.
Do you know what it should be?
What?
Yetis.
Okay.
I'm joking. But whatever it is, it's trashed the world by the looks of it anyway.
Yeah.
They've trashed the world.
It might not be a monster.
No, but it was a big, crazy form. But we've still seen it in exist. Okay, but it's a sentient being. It's a sentient thing. God See, that's annoying, right? This is what I'm saying about
I'm absolutely gutted.
That's why I didn't want to watch this bloody trailer, but then we did because we were talking about all the Super Bowl ones. But that's why I didn't want to, because I didn't want to see anything. I don't know why they've learned from fucking Jaws. Don't show shit until the end.
Genuinely didn't see it.
It's more scary.
How did I not see it? I'll watch it again in a minute.
This is what I don't get. All these trailers are trying to be gripping for Super Bowl. And it's like, oh, it's the whole thing. If you show more, you entice people to come watch it. But I'm completely the opposite with that. If you show less, I'm more enticed to come watch it.
Can we watch it now?
What it's about. What?
Because I really didn't. I want to see what you mean. Because I just didn't see it.
Come over here. I'll mute it.
Yeah, I will.
Hang on. Because it's gonna be really okay. If it's loud for a second, I'm so sorry.
Why are you going to mute it?
Because it's going to come through your headphones otherwise.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that'd be so scary.
I'm not even pausing the podcast. It's still going.
No, that's fine. They can listen to us watch it. Alright, we're watching it now.
I'm pretty sure.
Still watching.
It'd be funny if I'm completely wrong.
I was going to say, I bet you're wrong. I hope you're wrong.
It's on this little one.
I really want you to be wrong.
Because in the trees you see something
Yeah, but you can see something moving, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah, but there is a bit when I...
Nah, man, you're wrong.
Not in that bit, but there... Is it in this bit?
You saw something go on her shoulder. You didn't see
No, behind her. Look. It's a big-ass fucking monster.
Oh,
look.
Do it again. That could be a person.
That is not... It's hairy.
Yeah, it could be a hairy person. Try and pause on it. That could be a person. That can easily be a person.
It's huge.
That could be a man with hair. It's
But
not
look,
that
it
big.
shakes the fucking screen. And there's massive claw marks on the walls, remember?
I don't know.
Yeah, you smiled then. It's got to be a monster.
I didn't smile. Might not be a monster. It could be a man. Okay, we still don't know what it is, though. It could still just be a man.
Why do you want it to be a man? That'd be really bold. Why would they be running away from a man?
Just one man screwed
Why
up
would
the
you want it
world.
to be
He
a
must be
man?
terrifying.
There was scratch marks.
No, I know,
and
I
it was
know,
running
I
on
know,
4
I know,
legs.
I know.
If it's the same monster.
Okay,
But what I was saying is you
but
can
that's
see
it could
very
be lots of
clearly
different
there.
monsters.
I'm glad that it's not as clear as I thought.
No,
but you can
can't
see it there, and I don't want to see anything.
That could still be a man.
Anyway,
that
I didn't want
could
to.
be
Okay,
anyway.
my point is, I didn't want to see anything.
No, I agree. Oh no, I totally agree with you. You
Fucking-
could tell how gutted I am. I'm just saying, I don't think that that's a monster. Anyway.
It's also a very generic shot to use that bit there. It annoys me jumping down.
Yeah.
I would have thrown this gold roll that I play with now.
You're going to
on a
hit
weekly
yourself
basis
with that
for-
in a minute. You're going to get all
I'm going to
upset.
hit you with it in a second. Right, should we move on? Because that's enough about that trailer. It looks great. Hopefully it's great.
It does
comes out
look
in
very
2 months
good.
today. It comes
Love
out.
the idea, and I have always
We'll
said
like seeing both
I have
on screen
always
together.
said that I think there should be a film with absolutely no talking, and I don't mean a silent film before you say that. I've always said it would be so frightening if for some reason nobody could talk to each other.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
also, do you know what I just thought with film? If you had Emily Blunt,
Mm.
well, it was so nice to have the married couple together. But
Yeah.
could you imagine if John Krasinski did Adjustment Bureau with Emily Blunt instead of Matt Damon? He'd be quite good in that.
he would be.
Matt Damon's good in it as well, but he'd be quite cool.
He
in that.
is. I want
Um,
him in everything.
Next one,
Yeah. Stop it.
Skyscraper,
Yeah.
the new Die Hard.
Just makes me keep thinking of that song.
Do you know what? You said it, and I was I thought when we first watched it, it
Yeah.
actually looks bearable.
Yeah.
But then I feel like this has more potential to be really fucking stupid in terms of it looks like it's trying to be more serious with the whole plot of what's going on, whereas most of his films, like San Andreas, like Dwayne Johnson's films, look like they're just being straight out stupid action films.
I don't mind the premise at all because it's quite a believable thing. Like,
High Rise
they've
and
got
Belko in one.
Yeah, got these terribly high buildings, and obviously if something did happen, and I think it looks kind of interesting when he says about like this all the security threats. I think if you know that, do you know what I mean when he says, oh, but like with it comes like the word like more problems than like you'll experience in it. If they're really really clever with that, I think I'd really enjoy it.
But they won't be.
But they
You just
won't
know
be.
They won't
Yeah.
be.
But it also is quite nice to see him in something that, because I don't mind him. I don't think he's a bad actor, and obviously he's great.
He's made a good fucking career for himself.
Yeah, exactly, and
people
he
love
is
him.
great in these types of films, and it looks like a good enough action film. But I think what I quite like about it is that it isn't like a worldwide disaster. Like nothing, the world's not going to end. It's just this one building. I did quite like that about it. 'Cause it's quite a believable situation, so I don't mind that at all. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be smart with it. I think it's just going to be a lot of explosions and Dwayne Johnson jumping off stuff onto stuff that's on fire.
It kind of went from like trying to be all like explaining it theory wise to him just running through fire.
Yeah.
With one leg. And doing artificial.
But if they went into a lot of like the mechanics of the building and why they built it, and
I don't want him to. It doesn't suit the film.
no, I just mean like
More
when he was
interesting.
saying about the security risks and stuff. It'd be cool if like the security stuff was what had ended up like putting them in danger and stuff.
Yeah. Which will be like lockdown and stuff, but then this is how they ruined that idea, was that his family is obviously in peril in it.
Yeah.
And he has to be the hero while his wife is with his children in peril. And then you had some clear either I think he was Russian guys on the floor, and they're like, oh, I thought no one was on this floor. No, yeah, us neither. It was like, well, and the bad guys, they're not there, some sort of heist thing.
He might turn out to be good, you don't know.
I can bet you right now he doesn't.
No, he won't. Next.
And the reason, no, sorry, I'm just saying this is what I just...
Next.
This is what I just said. Like, this is what I said. This has more potential to be more annoying because it's not just trying to be like Fast and Furious where it knows it's shit. It's going to be shit if it tries to make it like it's that kind of like border smart sci-fi for the dumb, for the mainstream.
The dumb.
Did you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like kind of, it's like, to me, it's like what Hunger Games does for teens to going into like fantasy worlds, where it's like this is the opening door to be interested into like more kind of lore-y, like fantasy dystopian worlds.
I think you bash Hunger Games a little
That
bit
wasn't
too
a bash.
much.
That wasn't a bash at all.
But
It's the kind of thing where it's the more popular. Okay, so it's like Bring Me the Horizon are meant to be like a heavy metal screamo band, but they said themselves we're the pop side of it, so we're the side that invites people into that kind of music.
Right.
So Hunger Games invites teenagers into more kind of sci-fi stuff.
Oh.
Whereas this,
I thought you were saying. Oh, okay, yeah.
this was like a more like with space stuff now. It's
Yeah.
like they're doing like just like space films, and half of them are really shit and poor, and it's that kind of like open door into deeper stuff.
I wish you would read the books though, because the books don't feel like that.
But I didn't. What do you mean the books don't feel like that?
Don't feel like they're sort of trying to like open it up for other people. It just is a really good idea.
Yeah, I know you said that. I don't have a been against the books. I can't have. I haven't said the books.
No, I'm just saying for you. I think you'd enjoy them. Anyway, yeah, I get what you mean then. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what this feels like. It feels like, oh, here's an idea about like the whole tower. Yeah, it just feels like it's kind of that kind of cheap, but like sort of.
But it's not sci-fi.
No, I didn't mean for sci-fi. I said that was what Hunger Games was doing for sci-fi. It's the way this is with like sort of having like more like near future sci-fi where they take an Passengers.
Yeah.
Was the open door to space films.
Oh,
it was it was taking this what's popular.
What are you saying
which
this is
space
opening
films.
a door to then?
I don't know really. Tower. No, like action. No, but I said like towery films where it was about. I was saying about the kind of like theory side of like security in the towers. I was saying about that kind of stuff, like high rise kind of style.
Because they're in a high rise.
No, but like it feels like a cheap sci-fi kind of thing. And you said about being the other explaining all the security. Well, it is. It's in the future and it has a tall building. That's all. It is sci-fi.
Oh, is it in the future?
Well, that fucking building's very future tech. So it was the near
Well, it just
future.
looks like I don't know. Well, it just looks like buildings in Dubai.
But it uses technology that won't exist yet.
Oh right, does it?
Yeah, and as soon as you do that, you're sci-fi.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it.
Sci-fi.
I didn't know it had that.
Well, he said about the security things, and there's literally people living inside that building. That's a sci-fi concept because it's not a.
That's
modern-day
true, actually.
concept.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Stop it.
Yeah, no, let's move on. Fucking hell. Yeah, it looks actually quite fun if they don't, like we just said, if they don't try and get all technical with it and just fucking have a laugh with it.
Yeah.
Because it's, and not trying to get sympathy with his one leg because it's not that kind of film. It's not about, it's not fucking Stronger or something like that. It's Skyscraper with Dwayne Johnson jumping from building. Why is he on a crane anyway? How did he get onto that crane? Do you reckon he jumped off the helicopter onto the crane and then jumped back on the building?
I don't know whether there's a crane there if the building's finished, but anyway.
And how tall is that crane?
I don't know.
How do you go up a crane?
We've talked about this for way too long, so let's move on.
We'll talk about this one quite quick. Red Sparrow. Again, good time to bring it out because it's all about the Wick thrillers right now. John Wick thrillers. They love a good fucking film about a character with a fancy name who was about killing.
That particular trailer was just really nothingy. I think it would be a really
longer one yesterday. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I feel like the premise of her obviously seeing something she wasn't meant to, and she says that she's given a choice. She can either be killed or she basically ends up working for them.
Yeah.
As this particular type of I guess sort of spy assassin type thing. I actually quite like that idea. I don't mind that idea at all. But I know there's not going to be a lot about how they've made her that way. It's going to go.
I like that idea.
I feel like it's going to.
Black Widow. Because that's what Black Widow is. That's why I wanted this.
Yeah.
That's why it's quite funny.
Well,
I
know, and that's why I hope when Black Widow does come out, I hope it's a lot about how she. I know it'd just be basically an origins film, but I don't mind that at all. And actually, I hope you get to see like a lot of how she got to where she is now. But I know that Red Sparrow. I know that Red Sparrow probably will spend about 10 minutes showing you her get all trained up, and then she's just going to be amazing. And I think it's just going to turn into another boring spy film, but it's Jennifer Lawrence
with the same hair as Atomic Blonde almost.
For bits of it, she has different hair.
I love the red aesthetic
all the time.
of the posters.
Hey?
It's very cool. The red aesthetic of the posters,
yeah.
And also the three words they've got on the poster line up perfectly. That the spy is written through them in a diagonal line, which is quite clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's even funny about saying about Black Widow and how this feels like a Black Widow origin film is that there is even ballet in this. There's a shot of ballet which made me laugh because Black Widow, when they hint at her past in Age of Ultron, it
Yeah.
shows her doing ballet
Oh,
because in her school where she was taught to be an assassin.
Isn't she Russian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's,
the
in
Russian.
it's a girls' school.
Yeah, it's
for,
the
like,
Russian. Yeah, it's because
assassins.
they're both from Russia. It's a Russian ballet, isn't it?
Oh, okay. No, it was a big thing in
Yeah.
Russia. We should have. Anyway, yeah, but this is what I mean. It's quite funny for the timing because they've just announced they're doing a Black Widow solo film, and this is.
Yeah.
I hope they get Russo's to do Black Widow film and make it like Winter Soldier, make it like an espionage film for her. She needs that.
I think this could be alright. I don't think I would hate it, but I hope it just doesn't turn into. It'd be
Jennifer
cool if
Lawrence
there's
is a
enough
boring
exposition.
pick.
I feel like it could be alright.
I
She's
don't-
just a very
I
obvious pick.
Yeah, but it's the same Charlize Theron for pick new faces.
Yeah.
Next one, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah,
Quite a big one.
I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, me too. It's got some serious big action sets. And a lot of them, a fucking load of them. Because there's loads of different set pieces in this.
I think that's the difference when you say like, oh, Skyscraper looks like a pretty like an okay action film and stuff, and then you put it next to a trailer like this and you go, oh, that's gonna be trash. In comparison.
Yeah, I don't know how many of these they're going to do because they made it sound like this was going to be the last one.
Yeah.
Voices in it saying about it ending. What do they say? This is the way the world. Oh, that's Pacific Rim.
Mm.
I was getting bored of hearing that line. What's interesting is this is going with a very popular theme at the moment of the whole hero going AWOL. Because they're making out like Ethan's
Yeah.
going off track a little bit.
Yeah,
You don't
'cause-
see he's fighting Rebecca Ferguson's character,
Yeah, I thought it was weird though,
but is she going AWOL? But it's more because they say
because she
Ethan-
says like, don't make me go through you, but then it looks like they're working together again towards the end of the trailer, so I don't know.
But that just depends where they put the footage. But at a moment there's a line where they say about him like how long can you do this for without. I've forgotten the line. And they say about Ethan. They say about how long can you do this for before going off or doing it on your own way or something. They say about him basically going AWOL.
Oh right, yeah.
I was like, that is very popular. And then it shows quite a lot of him by himself or like
Yeah.
running, and he's fighting Henry Cavill. And I'm pretty sure Henry Cavill. They said they were the CIA.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when he was with the other woman from Loads at the moment. The one I remember from American Horror Story, I'm pretty sure they're the CIA, so I'm pretty sure he's. I'm interested about this whole choice to what he chose. Is that from another one, or is that just I can't remember the earlier ones where he said you had a choice to kill one or
Yeah, I can't remember.
save one person or save save four, save a giant number, and he by the sounds of it saved one person and he has to pay for those consequences. Which sounds interesting. It looks interesting.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it looks like there's going to be some really well choreographed fight scenes, and obviously like the action that you always expect from these anyway. But it looks good.
Yeah, actually, I think it's called Fallout. It's a really generic thing to call it. Especially because there's already a property called Fallout. You could have come up with another word.
Yeah, I agree.
I wonder if it's going to be the last one. I don't know. It looks quite warish. It looks quite gritty. It looks quite. I mean, Henry Cavill's look, and just the fact it's called Fallout. It looks like it's to do with World War II and nuclear stuff.
How do you think?
When she says plutonium, it sounds so funny. And the word just makes me laugh in that
Oh,
trailer.
I know that didn't. Yeah.
It sounds really weird.
It doesn't sound like a Mission Impossible thing.
No, well, it does because it sounds like over the top mission. It sounds like James Bond is what it sounds like actually.
Yeah.
He stole the plutonium briefcase.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to think what it made me think of. I don't know. It kind of felt like a superhero film for some reason.
Yeah, with that, yeah. With like a really cheap name. Yeah, it looks really good. It's got a big cast. I mean, you said you love Ghost Protocol. You're not really sure about Rogue Nation, but I like them both.
No.
Ghost
Yeah.
Protocol's definitely smarter, but I liked
Rogue
Rogue Nation.
Nation
I thought
was-
the fights was good in it.
Yeah, Rogue
I like
Nation
Rebecca
was
Ferguson
good,
in
but
it.
I know you did.
It's not 'cause I didn't know her face. She just came out and I
Yeah,
was like,
no.
oh shit, she's pretty badass in this, whoever the fuck she is.
Yeah.
It's a shame she's got that name because she said she shares it with a singer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And now had someone sing over her, and it's just quite funny.
I know, yeah, and it wasn't Rebecca.
No.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Looking forward to it. I'm worried it's not going to be as good as Ghost Protocol again, but
I don't think they're going to, but then you always have, it's the kind of like, you don't think any Star Wars film's never going to be as good as Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
It's that
that's
shame
true.
thing, isn't it, where you don't think anything's ever going to top
no.
one of them.
Yeah.
Next one,
Yeah.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I'm pretty sure this is the first trailer that dropped, because we watched this before any others.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're obviously in the UK, so the time difference made it before. 'Cause we
Oh,
watched
was this
it.
different?
We watched this the night before, and then we watched them all in the morning. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah,
yesterday
yeah. I
morning.
thought you meant the first one ever. I was going to say, what? Can't
No.
be. Yeah.
Do you want to say your first gripe with this?
They've
said it
made
before
a
we watched the
freaking
trailer.
dinosaur. Yeah. Why have they done that?
And I'm going to come to that. What more annoys me with that? Why does it have to be a villain? there's obviously bad humans in this.
Yeah.
Because they said, well, there was that other company with the guy who always plays a German, he always plays a Nazi.
Yeah.
In it, the guy from Winter Soldier, and they said that essentially these people have made their own dinosaur. Why do there need to be guns? Why does there need to be villains? Why can't the film be about getting how and why they get the dinosaurs off of the island?
That's exactly what I wrote down, because why have they made a new dinosaur? Because there's enough dinosaurs, I was going to say in existence, enough dinosaurs that exist in this film that are amazing enough. And if you can't make dinosaurs chasing you down scary, then you're not doing it right.
I'll tell you why. Toys. Toys, and this is the whole argument of like prequels and sequels, where same way if we're going to Star Wars and the Solo film, why do they have to create new fucking ships, like a new TIE fighter with everything? And there's always like Jurassic World, is that we have a new mixed dinosaur. They always have to create new creatures, new ships, new designs. They can't just make it exciting with a plot, because the plots are always fucking weak and aren't exciting. They have to try and bring in new creatures to make something special.
It's just silly to me, because even if they have made a new dinosaur, all it's going to do is look different to the other dinosaurs.
They made it look like it was intelligent because it was going on the floor with the kid. Why is there a bedroom by? I'm very confused with that.
I don't know.
It's just focus on getting the dinosaurs off the island, and the techniques with that.
Yeah.
The like strategies of doing that.
Yeah.
Make it like Noah's Ark. The strategy of having to try and move all these animals, and like the horror of having to lose some, and the idea of having to keep like dangerous ones and trying to capture. Yeah. The whole you can make a whole film about trying to capture them and like getting them off the island before it all goes to shit. That would be really interesting. But instead they've got an evil guy who made a dinosaur. Brie Larson, Brian thingy Dallas Howard holding a gun. Yeah. It all just looks like a fucking a wharf. It just looks really odd.
But what I was going to say was making a new dinosaur. Is that really going to... I know, alright, maybe it can like tap or it's a bit more intelligent or whatever, but they've said how intelligent the dinosaurs are, and you saw how intelligent they were in the last one. So why is this scarier because somebody's made it? Because they made all these dinosaurs anyway. Well, they like grew them. Yeah. They weren't just here.
And also the last one was a made dinosaur, because it was a mix of dinosaurs
so it's
who could talk to raptors.
It's just going to look different, which is quite like I'm interested to see what it looks like, but past that I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, thank God it was in it, because otherwise that would have been really terrible. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's just trying to, this is the thing of blockbuster films, they're just trying to be like more exciting. Like I said, that shouldn't have been the focus of the film. You could have made it really interesting, but
also they've totally changed Bryce Dallas Howard's character,
and they've also got a young dude with them. Which is going to be like the old ones as well, isn't it? I'm pretty sure they have a young guy.
Oh, yeah.
It's the whole like having like a come together family.
Yeah.
And he screams like a girl in this trailer.
Yeah. What was I saying?
You were saying she's changed her get-up.
Yeah, well, not just that. She seems like a totally different character to me than she did in the first ones, which I think is actually a really good shout, because it fits. It fits better. Yeah, it fits better with this, but. That's what I was going to say. It's not enough of a gap. She would have changed this much. Like, she looks like a totally different person.
I don't know. We're reckoning about 6 months. They don't say, but obviously they're in the first trailer. They're talking in the bar to the Black Mirror song. Yeah. And it's like, how have you been dating? Like they have like a stupid little chat, don't they? It is dumb. Also noticed in it when she says, "Oh, it's not a T-Rex. It's not a T-Rex," and then it shows a T-Rex. Pretty sure it's a different time, because it's lit up red and he screams and it's all red and flaming and rain's falling, whereas when he first says it's all light.
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like something shit. I still probably watch it because it's Jurassic World and I'm intrigued by it, but I don't really.
Do you know what I find as well in these? They obviously you would be really scared if those things got out and if they were running at you and stuff, but they always seem like surprised. They always seem surprised that it's a dinosaur. They never just seem scared that it's got out. They seem surprised to see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's always the same reaction, like it was in the originals. It's always
and they're like, oh my God. You wouldn't be like, oh my God. It's not disbelief, is it? It's just like flat out fear, but then they don't seem scared.
It should be like a Quiet Place where they just sort of react to it and know what to do, as opposed to being like, what is that?
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't get why that bit. Why she's like, it's not a T-Rex. It's not a T-Rex. Why would you fucking risk it?
It probably is because you're.
And it's tagged as well because they can see it coming to it. So how do they not tag all the different dinosaurs and know what they are? You fucking idiots!
It just makes me so sad because I love dinosaurs so much.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's loads of shit dinosaur films out there.
There are.
The best Jurassic Park film, Land Before Time. Next one. was the only TV trailer, I'm pretty sure, at Superbowl, which was Westworld Season 2 trailer.
Because it's like a load of mini films.
And what did you say it looked like? Because it's
I
spot on,
said
it's quite funny.
It looks like a bank commercial, like a Lloyd's TSB bank advert with the horse
music.
and the piano music. I don't
The
really
horse? Do you mean the... Oh, there's a horse in it, sorry, yeah. Of course,
Oh no, I
meant
meant I meant the horse in the bank advert. I think it is Lloyd's
okay.
TSB. Obviously, well, there is a horse in this, but there's also, is it a bull?
There's bulls running, but they're all mechanical bulls.
Yeah, that looks
Not
cool.
like ones you ride. I mean, like mechanical bulls, and like they've got machinery for them.
I'd ride it if I wanted. I bet I could. But yeah, no, it did. It looked like a bank advert, and I didn't actually really like the piano music. I also think all of this is happening too fast. I would have liked even another whole series of the humans being in control of it. I feel like it's kicked off too fast. Depends how many series they're gonna do. Though. Yeah, but it would have been cool. But I said, didn't I? It didn't even have to be a whole other series. Even if it's just a few more episodes or something. I just feel like having...
It might be still, though. They might just be using it as a trailer because it's the more exciting bit.
But it's already started.
Oh,
they've already turned. Yeah. They've already worked it out, haven't they?
I
feel like they worked it out too quick.
This is the smartest trailer. I feel like it's probably going to be the best out of these things.
Oh, definitely. No,
I know what you mean. Because it depends how many series they want to make, really.
That's what I said. It depends how many they're going to do. If they're only going to do 3, then fine, I understand.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think half the interesting thing of this world is that they don't know. And it's kind of cool that they don't know, and it's interesting seeing how people interact. Again. So it's also, I would have liked to see a little bit more. I don't know if I ever said this, but I would have liked to see in the first series a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely adored it, but maybe would have liked to see in the first one and just a little bit more of how people sort of like interacted with them.
With what
with the people that don't know that they're not really people.
What you reacted with them? You saw loads of that because.
Not loads.
John Marston wasn't real, and he was with him, and then the guy that was, and then Dolores isn't real.
Yeah, no, I just mean just normal people, like not the main characters. Just I would have liked just a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just seeing like what people would do if you gave them the opportunity.
Weird, creepy shit, probably knowing.
Well, yeah, but I probably would have liked to have seen a bit of that.
Well, then you're a creep.
Probably.
I think, do you know what they should have done for the trailer? Sorry, I was just thinking, this is what I've just looked up. You know how they always, I mean, this isn't, I re-looked up the music for this, so I thought I recognised it, but it's made for the trailer. By the looks of it, it's not a song, it's not, because obviously in the first series they used pop songs to make them piano covers. I think they should have used this for the piano cover for this trailer.
That would have been cool, actually.
How awesome would that sound?
Yeah, it was.
As a piano cover for this trailer, perfect for this trailer. You're welcome, Westworld, do it. They released the trailer, so never mind. I'll make it. I'll make my piano cover.
That probably will be on a Lloyd's TSB.
Very true. Well, I'll make it, and we'll see how it sounds. And then I'll send it to them, and then they'll hire me, as well as the people from Cloverfield hire me for my theories. I hope for this series of Westworld, from the looks of the trailer, that there is some sympathy for the man in black, and he is more of a good character in this. And he was right about stuff, and he's the better. Because I like him in the first series, he's cool, but he's like pretty dark. Whereas in this, he looks quite. At the end of the first series, he looked pretty. I love that he like sort of smiled because he was happy that everyone went to shit, because that's all he wanted was like a proper challenge. And he got a proper challenge because they could hurt him. Now he got shot at the end, didn't he? And he was like, "Hey, challenge!"
Yeah.
Because it's what
so you want him to be a good character?
I want him to be. I don't want him to be a dick to everyone else. I want him to be part of this maze and be the smart character and know what he's doing.
But he is a dick, isn't he?
What do you mean he's a dick? He's a dick to the people who aren't real. He doesn't do anything to the people that are real. So I don't know if that depends if you quantify as that him being a dick, because those people don't. I mean, they exist, but they're not. But they live by different laws because they're not actually human. They're artificial. Do you know? But like, that's what I mean. Like, it'd be interesting. Even if he has been a dick, he could show different sides, because maybe this is what he's wanted all along. And now he's got it. He might be different. Yeah. I just think he's fucking great, and I think they should use him more.
Yeah, he's a cool character.
And he'd be an interesting one, because you know that Dolores is going to be the good guy. You know, like it'd just be nice to see him. Or Dolores and him team up for something.
I need a big old recap before we watch the second series, because so much information. It's that's what's going to say.
Yeah. This trailer also is the only one that doesn't spoil anything at all, because we don't know when this is happening. No. It's probably because it's a TV series. There's more stuff to show, so they're not spoiling it. Yeah. swiftly move on unless you have anything else to say?
And also they put it all in slow-mo. It's very clever because, not all of it, but a lot of it.
More time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just appreciate how beautiful the shots are without showing a ton of footage.
I love, even though you know this is Westworld, because you see the side of the balls all cut up, and I like that when it's like they come across a bit, it's just a screen behind them, they're actually in the labs.
Yeah.
Because even though you know it's not real, and you know they're in labs.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know they're in labs, you think they might be in the wild running, and it's not really much of a soap, but I still love that it just does that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, they've just got a screen behind them. And Tanya
too.
Newton's walking with them like a badass. I don't know if she's probably found a way to control them.
Yeah.
I know, it's all very interesting.
Also, you see Rachel Evan Wood in like just a normal like black dress. It's quite cool. Evan Rachel.
She was, wasn't she?
Rachel,
when she was with
Rachel Wood.
Why is his name off my head with the guy?
Yeah.
Is it? It's Burn something, isn't it?
Something. Yeah. Can't remember.
So I think he's probably still dead then after he got shot at the end.
I
Unless
did.
there's a reveal that wasn't him and that was a clone or something
Could be.
of him. I'm pretty sure Thingy died though, didn't he? But Bernard, that's it.
Bernard, yeah.
Didn't he die though?
Yeah, but then he was back again by the end.
God,
I can't remember. Oh, because he's not real either.
He wasn't real, no, he died.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Thingy killed him.
Yeah.
But then he had a copy of him.
But then he brought him back as a clone. Yeah.
It's honestly confusing.
That's why I need a recap for you. Yeah.
Second to last.
Yeah.
Infinity War.
Second to last.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Second to last, Infinity War. We didn't see much. They're obviously keeping a lot secret here.
Yeah,
because you
good.
just see a lot of them. I said this to you when we watched it. There's just a lot of them standing around chatting a little bit.
I don't mind that.
Or just showing them like going, oh shit is going down. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to really comment on it really extra other than Spider looks pretty fucking upset when he's climbing up that.
Yeah.
It's quite in peril. They're all getting on board that ship at the start, so I fucking hope that's how the film does start, with that shit hitting New York and them all pulling together.
I'm really glad they're keeping so much secret though, because I don't want to see loads.
No. I also hope that Cap doesn't caps off in Wakanda with like their lot.
Yeah.
Sort of planning what to do about New York, and then he comes in halfway through and
I
helps
hope Black
out.
Panther's really good, and then by the time
the early reviews are giving it good responses.
But I hope it's really good because obviously, like, we love Cap, and if they're together, I'm already gonna like.
He's doing Civil War, isn't he?
I'm gonna totally be rooting for them by the time. Like,
yeah. I wonder if. Kill Cap and Iron Man. I love them both, but just fucking kill them at the end of this.
Yeah.
And easy to go.
Yeah, it would be bad.
It'd be a shame now he's got his new suit and haircut and beard, but still. As well as Black Panther, I watched a little bit. There was a clip of a car chase, and I did not like the look of it.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, why?
Too much. It just looked really odd.
Mm.
She basically creates a hologram of a car. It's the girl from the Black Museum episode of Black Mirror.
Oh, right.
The main girl in that is in Black Panther as well. And she creates a hologram of a car, which is really there in another location. She starts controlling with this. She's sat in the hologram controlling the actual car.
Oh, this is the bit where she. Yeah.
And Black Panther jumps across the cars.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it just looks. I was just like, oh, this is weird. This digital stuff. It probably would be great, and I'm just doing well.
Look cool in IMAX.
Kind of crazy, huh?
So it looked cool in IMAX.
Yeah. Yeah, it will. It's still 2 weeks away. It's crazy.
I know.
There isn't much else to say. I said about Cap's suit, and he's now got shields on his arms. Everyone's kicking about his new shield, but it's just Wakanda stuff, like built onto his arms to fight. But I like that he doesn't have a sword. But Cap with a sword and a shield would be pretty badass in a fight.
A sword.
If he had a sword, because they're all fighting by hand, aren't they? Imagine if he had a sword and a shield. He looks like a kind of like old fantasy style fighter. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh god, that'd be cool. I should have a sword now.
It looks like
shield.
Geralt.
Badass. And then also Iron Man's suit is now like particles coming together as opposed to machinery. Yeah, that looks interesting.
It's only a matter of time until that happened.
Yeah. It also looks weird though, because his new suit looks very sci-fi compared to his others in a sense that it looks a lot more futuristic.
I don't know if I like it that much.
I don't. I prefer his grey looking suits.
Yeah, me too.
I like his space suit in Iron Man 3 that he has.
One.
It's like a white and gold one, which is really cool. The first one. Yeah. I like white.
The big tin can. Anyway, last one.
Last one is Solo, a Star Wars story, which they revealed a teaser for at the Super Bowl and then revealed a full trailer for right after, which is interesting. What do you think?
I think what we've said to each other already, really, but we haven't said it on here, so I'll say it here. It's too many big faces, way too many big faces. It doesn't feel Star Warsy, which I don't mind. I do mind, because if you're gonna have it Star Wars, then make it feel Star Wars. If it's not Star Wars, then do a different film. And it's just not a big enough gap for this actor to be playing Han when you saw
I don't know
Han
when it's set,
like a few years older. No, I know,
he's young, but
he looks about the age that we first saw Harrison Ford play him.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't get Harrison Ford to go back in time and play him.
Maybe they can do that with the Spidey and say that he's like 15.
I don't think that's what they're doing.
No, they won't say he's 15. He'll be way too young. But I think that's like, I guarantee they say he's a teen, or he's in his very early 20s.
And I know to a point you have to sort of suspend your disbelief and go, okay, well no, that I'm like I say, you can't make him go back in time and play him again. But I don't really know why they've made this film. But I can't think of any reason other than
I don't know why they picked. This is what I said.
Making a lot of money.
It's a prequel. They keep saying we're doing spin-off films. They're not spin-off films. They're prequels. Rogue One is a direct prequel. This is a direct prequel. Yeah. You have a whole universe.
Can't keep calling it a Star Wars story. It's not a Star Wars story. It's Star Wars.
The Star Wars story still. It might not be about a Skywalker, but it directly relates to a Skywalker.
A Star Wars story would be something that took place on one of the planets that we know is in this universe.
You can use the same species, use the same ships. Yeah. I don't mean like use the Empire ships, just use the same designs, use the same planets you can mention. You can have the same inside the same universe with completely new characters.
I think it's
or
really a
small
shame.
Characters like Maz or someone like really small.
It's starting to really taint it. It's getting on my nerves. It's too much. Just give it a break.
It probably feels even worse because it's May and not the end of the year, so it doesn't feel like it feels like even less of a break.
Yeah, we've just watched Star Wars.
It's really strange because imagine thinking that this and Last Jedi takes place in the same universe. It feels strange. It was like Marvel. Yeah. They don't feel like they're in the same universe, but without going, that is my only thing of it is the actors and it's just the timing and having to like plonk out all these films. But from the actual for the actual look of the film, I don't mind the look of it. I thought it was going to look a lot worse. Bear in mind how much shit has been said about this film. I love the design there, the costume, the planets, really the shots. It all look gorgeous. It look like Rogue One, which I love because it's.
But it will because they've got the budget and they already know what this world looks like.
But it doesn't always because Last Jedi looks very different to Rogue One. It's different. It's not as gritty at all. It's really clean.
It does. But I think once you've got, and I know you can spend a budget wrong, but I never thought that it would look bad.
It would never look cheap and it would never look shit, but it could look aesthetically different. It could look more because to me Last Jedi looks really glamour. Looks really glamoury.
I think this looks really different.
To what?
To any other.
Really? Star Wars looks different. I think it looks just like Rogue One, like the costumes.
It's just like Rogue One.
Because it's grey and brown. It's all grey and brown. A lot of it. And
I think Rogue One had like a lot. I don't know. Rogue One. When I think of Rogue One, I think of like either really like dirty, or like it felt like half really dirty and half really polished. But this just feels like this feels like.
I think this stuff feels polished in Rogue One though. Is all the Imperial Empire stuff. Like all the Empire stuff feels polished, like the Death Star and like the blue skies probably make it feel more polished than it is. But like in terms of costumes.
The costumes I think look really good.
They remind me of Rogue One because they're grey and they're brown and they've got that kind of like. More down to earth kind of aesthetic as opposed to this really like glamoured bright colours. There's not bright colours. Brown, though? What in Han? In Solo?
Yeah.
Most of the stuff's grey and brown or white. It's like it's all very like plain colours. It's not bright like Last Jedi was.
Yeah.
The thing he's fighting.
This just looks really grey to me. But then a lot of the costumes are really like. I swear, doesn't Lando have like yellow on?
Lando does, but Lando is that is his colours. She has mostly white and black, and then a bit of red. It's
really weird. Her costume is making me think of Leia's costumes, like in Last Jedi.
What do you mean? What?
They just had a really similar fashion.
Okay, so Holdo felt like Rogue One to me. I know she had pink hair, but she had like a brown outfit. The first pictures they released for Last Jedi of her and of Del Toro looked like Rogue One because they were really brown-looking pictures. But then. The rest of it, then the other stuff felt like quite. I think it's more that it just looks. I don't know, it just looks more gritty.
Yeah, I think I could enjoy the film, but not as a Star Wars film. If that makes sense.
Kind of, yeah. Well, I think as well they're going to reference a lot of stuff that happened, like the Kessel Run, like there was something that Falcon doing in I can't remember how many seconds. I think it's 12.
But I don't need to see that.
No, no one need to. No one need to see half the shit that they're going to keep showing. And obviously the dice are in it as well.
And it makes me sad because I already have images of of what his life was like before in my mind. I don't want to be shown them, because as much as you think, oh well, I'll start, I have my idea of how it happened, you will forget.
Yeah.
You will start. It will start to like erase.
I don't want her to be a love interest as well. I want her to just be a mate.
No, but I think
nice,
it looks like she is.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't like the actors, but I do like the look of it. I like the costumes. I like the thing that's meant to be a villain fighting him. I like if it's a train heist and the train's like a double-sided. That's all very cool.
That bit does, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think I could enjoy it as a film, but I'm just not sure.
It looks too actiony. It looks like it's going to be again. Rogue One didn't feel like an actiony film. It felt like it was more about bigger fans of Star Wars, whereas this feels about going for a ride with everyone.
And it feels really, I don't know, it feels like really Hollywoody, but I think that is because
they're joking a lot. And,
I think it is because you've got like Emilia Clarke and you've got Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, that's why I said this just kind of feels.
It's just way too many faces.
People. And she's now tainted. She looks like she does in Terminator. It's like she's doing all these franchise films. So she, even though she's not in masses, she feels like a franchise face now.
She does.
Same with Woody Harrelson, has played a mentor before.
Yeah.
In Hunger Games, so he's probably played. I bet he's played it a few times. In fucking Zombieland, he feels like a mentor.
Yeah, and he's something else. He's a mentor in. Oh no, I think it was this.
What's the one where he? What's the film when he falls into a boat?
Into a boat.
It's like a rom-com kind of film.
Into a boat.
What fucking film is that? Oh, fuck! I need to look this up because.
Also, I know he's not a mentor, but he's like the leader in Planet of the Apes, and I don't know. I feel like he's playing the same thing over and over and over again.
But then Free was amazing.
And he was chief of police in Three Billboards. No, but he is always like the leader, isn't he?
True Detective. He's a detective as well. He's in Venom. I fucking realised he was in Venom as well. I can't remember what this film was. I didn't know. You see me too as well. It feels like I feel like it's a jokey, I can't remember kind of fucking film. And that's really annoying. I hope it's not Friends with Benefits, because that might be it. I think it is. He's got a really. I remember because he's got such a weird part in it.
Friends with Benefits. What's
Justin Timberlake and this one.
Oh God, have you seen that?
Yeah.
What? Why?
I don't know. I've watched shit. I've watched a lot of shit. It's quite shit. I think because it had quite a lot of people were like talking about it a lot, and I imagine why people were talking about it quite a lot. That's probably why people were. It is as well because he's sat on the. Because also.
That's embarrassing.
It isn't complete trash because it's all right, and then it is.
Oh, is it?
I also remember Headless Talk because at the same time there was that film that came out with.
Did you say everyone was talking about it?
It was yeah. I remember doing quite a lot of stuff about it.
What, Friends with Benefits?
Yeah. I think it was more as well because the other one with Natalie Portman came out around the same time.
I don't remember anyone talking about Friends with Benefits.
Well, that was years ago. I was quite young, alright, the Val.
Yeah, actually, probably people your age were talking about it. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, that was it. He feels like that kind of. It's just too much. I've only read a few notes. It's about his hair as well. I like his hair in Solo. He looks like Han.
Yeah.
In the little Super Bowl bit, he sounds like Han. The first line he says, I'm like, oh okay, he's put a bit of a Han voice on, but then he doesn't for the rest of it.
No, when he goes, it's all right. Like we'll be all right, or we're gonna be fine, or something like that. It felt like he was trying to be, like he was really like character acting, but he didn't seem anything like Han to me.
Yeah. He doesn't seem like Han that much. He never will, though. No one ever would. It's just kind of.
No, but you could go. Oh, it's believable that he would have been like that. But maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe in the film he will, and I'm willing to stay open to it that he might. But I don't know. I can't see it happening.
How bored are you of the line we're going to put together when putting together a team?
And this is how the world ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how the world ends. That's poetry, right? But I'm putting together a team.
Yeah.
I'd like the music in this, but I don't know if I like it for this film. Yeah. I've got nothing else to say. You got anything else to say about it?
No.
Favourite trailer from Super Bowl? Most exciting trailer from Super Bowl?
I'm just looking at them.
Do you want mine?
Yeah, go on.
Westworld Series 2, because I'm most excited to watch out of these.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm more excited to watch Infinity War.
Yeah.
But Most of that we've seen already.
Best trailer, yeah, probably, yeah. Westworld.
It didn't bug me in any
Film
sense.
I'm most excited for.
Or yeah.
Well, Infinity War, in terms of I've waited so long for it, and it's obviously a huge franchise, and I love it.
You're gonna say Mission Impossible,
but
aren't you?
No, I was gonna say A Quiet Place.
Oh, interesting.
I'm so excited for that. It's two of my favourite actors and actresses.
Yeah.
Just say actors is fine.
It's that.
And now that I know he's directed it and written the screenplay, I'm even more excited. And I just think it's a really great premise. So.
I'm excited for it, but it's like that time we watched Wind River and It on the same night, and I said I'll love Wind River much more, but I'm more excited for It because I want to see where they go with it. Yeah. Because it's an entire universe. I'm more excited for Infinity War to see how they're going to deal with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm more excited. Like overall, I'm more excited for that. But
what you'd probably
it's like it's a brand new thing.
Yeah.
It's a new idea, and yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody.
Thank you for listening to this far in.
Yeah.
You know where to find us, pimps and kids.
What'd you say, pimps?
You know
and
where
kids?
to find us, pimps and kids.
Oh my god.
What's wrong with that?
That's not right.
Why?
They shouldn't be mixing the two.
Why am I mixing the two? They could be listening separately in different rooms.
I hope they are.
Yeah, fucking hell. See you next week for... Don't know what we're doing next week. Can't remember. Anything else? I think there is...
Shape of Water?
Yeah, because it comes out...
Sorry.
Next week is
Black
Panther.
Yeah.
That's out next Tuesday, I'm pretty sure. So we'll go watch it in the morning. We'll come back and do a podcast straight on it.
Yeah! Thank you for listening again. If you listened, if you didn't, then screw you because you're not listening.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.